I have so much. Okay, so I was in the kitchen all day today. This is a fun way to start it. I was in the kitchen all day today. And so I quickly ran into my office to kind of do my hair. It turned out a little 90s style, kind of going with the theme today. So luckily nobody's here with anything flammable with flames. It's like the old days where I used to just to keep it out of my face because I had a hat on all day in the kitchen. So gross. Anyways, welcome everybody. This is so welcome to those who are following us, whether they're joining us on Zoom or they're on Facebook Live on the Wander Food and Wine page, but new, which we did not realize we could do until 2 minutes ago. I'm on my own business page as well. So now if you weren't following Wander Food and Wine, and you should be, but you are following my business page, you're going to see it coming up in the feed as that I'm live as well. So so we just get more people joining in for this, which will be a lot more fun. More people, the merrier. It is the Friday before Valentine's Day, and we're opening next week. Yay! Whatever little bit it is, we miss all of our wine friends here at the bar, so we're excited about that. First things first, though, it's Friday at 5 o'clock. Alex, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking some Valpolicella from Tedeschi.
Oh, Nicolo.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes, it's good. First time I've had it that's not Ripasso, so it's nice.
Oh, so it's maybe you can explain a little bit the difference between the regular and the Ripasso?
Well, Ripasso is baby Amarone.
Yes.
Just means it's done passed through twice.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all I know for that.
That's Alex's mini class on Italian wines.
Yep.
So I'll go through a little bit what we're doing today at happy hour. We don't talk about anything that's negative because we have enough of that going on. Sorry, gonna have to put my glasses on. My eyes have been getting worse during this whole COVID time. Okay. So we're on Zoom and we're on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live on 2 pages because now you can actually cross post on more than one page. There's actually a button for it, which is great. The edited video is going to be uploaded to the Wander Food and Wine blog page at the end of the weekend. So if you missed a little tip or something we were talking about and you always want to go back to it, you can. And then we're going to have prizes again today. Kind of a Valentine's Day wine and basically it's a sugar theme. So Alex, of course, is in charge of that. I kind of just keep putting him in charge of the game stuff. That's his thing. And we'll sort of talk about, have all kinds of little topics to talk about in between. And hopefully, if she's not too busy, our friend Denise from Huckleberries Chocolatiers, our neighbor next door here on the side of this wall, who's had like this lineup of people constantly in all day picking up orders for Valentine's Day. If she has a chance, she's going to call into the show. We're calling this kind of like a show. She's going to call in later, and then she can kind of give us some tips on how to find, oh my gosh, I just lost my earring. How to look for good chocolate, what it looks like, what it should taste like, what's the difference between it. So this way, when you're shopping for really good chocolate for Valentine's Day or whatever the occasion, at least you have some good tips from a pro. So she's going to join us, but she's not a wine drinker, which is yet. I keep sneaking her little things. I sent her when we first moved in, probably about a year ago. I remember I sent her over a bottle of Sweet Spark. I think I sent her a Brichetto actually, because I thought, she's not a big wine drinker. I mean, she's a Texas lady, so she's in her whiskeys and stuff. So this whole wine world is a little new to her. But anyways, hopefully she has time to join us. But if not, you're stuck with Alex and I. Okay, so Alex said he's drinking Valpolicella. I am drinking kind of like a makeshift cocktail. Looks like it's a little bit on the pinky side. So all I did was I had 2 tour of Spain classes in the last 2 days, 72 hours. So I had some Freshenet Cava open, which is a great dry sparkling alternative. It is made in the traditional method, similar to champagne, but of course much cheaper when it's from Spain. And I, of course, could not drink the whole bottle the other day, even though I had 2 classes of it. I had one public one on Wednesday, and then last night we had a private corporate one. And so I had some left, so I figured I'll do something with that. And then I remembered that I had my Luxardo cherry, liqueur that we use for our cherry chocolate. We have two cherry cocktails. We have a cherry Negroni and we have a cherry chocolate bubbly cocktail. And so I put a little bit of the cherry liqueur in the bottom, and I just topped it with cava. And because I have chocolate bitters, it's pretty intense. This, you don't need a whole lot, but just by adding a couple of drops onto it, you can get this kind of aroma of chocolate when you're taking a sip. So that's fun. Because I'm not a huge chocolate eater. I'm not a big sweet eater. Alex isn't either. I think it's just as a family thing. We don't eat a lot of chocolate. But I like the smell of it. I don't mind once in a blue moon having a quick taste of it, but you'll never see me diving into a chocolate cake. That's not me. But I love the little aroma of it because I love that dark flavor of chocolate. I just like the flavor of it, but the sweetness side of things is just not mine. Anyways, enough about me. So if anyone's looking for these, they're not easy to find. It's the Fee Brothers does this Aztec chocolate bitters. I had to order this in from the States, but it's good stuff, especially if you like if you like chocolate and you want to sort of dash it into everything. Chocolate bitters is always fun. Okay, Alex, how about you explain how this week's game is going to work, okay, and I'll let you take it from there.
Right. So pretty similar to last week, except couple weeks ago. Last time it was our top wines by category. This time it is pretty much our top everything else. So we're talking food dishes and cocktails as well. So the way it's going to go this time, because it's not actually available online for you to go and browse, I'm actually going to share the screen with the options, and I'll leave it on there for a minute or so, and then in the chat you can try to guess which one's which. First one who guesses it right will win a prize. And what are they getting for the first one, Mom?
What are they giving that? I have all these little bottles of these wine and chocolate or wine and candy little gift bags. So the first three are going to be like this. This first one is featuring the chocolate mint Lindors. So each one's going to be a little bit different. So I'll have those. But yeah, so that's going to be the first one.
Okay.
So this is, I think you're doing tapas first, right?
Tapas.
This is not all of our tapas. He just took a handful of them and the winning one is in there. So, and you spelled Parmesan wrong.
I did.
Okay, Alex, when they put that little red squiggly line underneath it in pages, I'm telling you they spelled it wrong. Oh, you're funny. Okay, so that's not Parmesan. It's actually Parmesan. It's Parmesan truffle fries.
Parmesan.
Yeah. So anyways, there's a list of the ones. So you type in the comment section underneath the video which one you think it is, regardless of whether you're following along on my Facebook page or the Wine Bar's Facebook page. Either one. At the end of this, I usually take 2 minutes to sit down, and I will check based on the timestamps on who answered first. So you're looking for the top selling tapas out of this list for 2020, for the year 2020. So there was Parmesan truffle fries, bacon wrapped dates, pan con ajo y tomate, chorizo and red wine, torreznos, croquetas de jamón. You picked all the Spanish ones. Fromage fort and cod fritters with aioli.
And I wrote it down, but these are still the better sellers of them. That's why,
Yes. So I won't be announcing them until the end of this happy hour. So that's it for that one. So you can be winning that one. So while Alex gets ready, he can unshare his screen again.
Just 1 second.
So he can get he's near all this technology. He's going to be hosting his own Zoom channel soon. Okay. Wine and chocolate. For those of you who are watching, that's one of the reasons that you're watching this, is because you want to learn about wine and chocolate. So one of the things about pairing wine and chocolate is you need to worry about whether you're looking more for contrasts than comparisons. So here's a good example. If you had a really big glass of dry Cabernet that you're the usual go-to for dinner, and then you paired that with a piece of dark chocolate, like say 70-80% dark chocolate, you will really notice how almost bitter it is with that pairing. And it's because there are tannins in both that red wine and chocolate. So those flavonoids and tannins will actually bounce off each other. They're actually contrasting, and it's just doubling up on all of those drying tannins. So it's kind of like this pasty in your mouth, right? But if you took that same dark chocolate and you paired it with something a little bit with a higher sugar content, a little bit sweeter, all of a sudden you're not having so much tannin party going on in your mouth. It's a little bit easier for your palate to adjust to. So that's the whole idea of it. Because as much as everybody, all my red wine drinkers out there, you always love red wine, but then you go directly into having dark chocolate with it. And if you like dark chocolate, you just need to start looking at different wine options. So this is kind of a fun party to do. You with your friends over Zoom, everybody pick a different red wine and pick out chocolate and kind of just, while you're chatting and catching up, just to experiment with different wines. You'll be very surprised. So let's go through all of the different options. I just made myself a list so I wouldn't forget any. Milk chocolate. Milk chocolate, of course, the good milk chocolate is probably about half cream and half chocolate. So you're getting a lot of that creaminess in it. So things that have a little bit more acidity do really well with it. So again, that's because the milk chocolate's a little bit sweeter and creamier. It can handle things that are drier with more tannins. So think a fruity Pinot Noir. So Pinot Noir has like cherry, raspberry notes in it. So those bright berry flavors will do really well with the milk chocolate. So that's probably one of the ones that, like, if you tried that really dry Pinot Noir and tried that with a dark chocolate, it would be not the same. So I suggest don't do that. The other option would be a ruby port. So if you haven't experimented with ports yet, this is a great one to try. A port is just a fortified wine. So it just takes a classic red wine from Portugal and they just added extra alcohol to it to increase the sugar and alcohol content. And so you still get a ruby port, still gets the flavor of wine, but it has time to sort of marry. It's a little syrupy, a little more pronounced flavors in those dark berry notes. So a ruby port would be really great with milk chocolate as well. Now you're going back to the dark chocolate. I already talked to you about pairing it with something that's a little bit on the sweeter side. What I mean by that is residual sugar. So, when you go to the LCBO and you see like so many grams per liter per sugar, or sometimes it'll even say, right, D for dry, XD for extra dry, that kind of thing. I keep losing my bloody earring. It is like the 90s. Jeez Louise. Okay. So, where was I? Dark chocolate. Yes. So residual sugar. So think of all of those wines that maybe when you first started drinking red wine, you found it was a little bit too much now. So you'll call them the starter wines. That would be your jammy, like Zinfandels from California. That would be another jammy Merlot of some sort. All of those wines that have like a high sugar content in them, there might be considered, they won't be listed as medium on those little cards at the LCBO, but they'll be just listed as dry, not extra dry, just dry. So you're looking at a like 10-12% sugar. It's surprising how many there are out there. There's probably a lot of popular ones that you've known. I'm not going to start naming them because then I feel like I'm shaming them, because there's, in some cases, those actual fruity reds, those ones that stain your teeth and they're almost syrupy, those would do really well with a dark chocolate because there's more sugar in it. It's actually that sugar is masking all of those drying tannins that you would get in that dark chocolate. So now's the time to go and break out that, okay, I'm not going to name that, that Wolf Blast, that Yellowtail Shiraz. So those really high, those sweeter style of Shiraz are a really great match for that. So that's the one that you have with a steak and then you can have afterwards with a piece of chocolate cake. So that's for that one. Another one that you may not think about for dark chocolate is a sherry. Now, I'm a huge sherry fan. Ever since I've gone to, last couple times I went to Spain, actually, I made more of an effort to, if I'm up at a wine bar or sitting at a bar, I talk to the bartender and I get him to start pouring me sherries. I'm trying to develop more of a taste for them. We do have a couple here, but there's a style called a Pedro Jimenez sherry, and it's actually very nutty. In a way. So it's actually got a lot of like toasted nuts flavor to it. And you think of like nuts with dark chocolate, it's perfect. So it's actually like a sweeter style sherry. I wouldn't do a dry one, but a sweeter style sherry with a dark chocolate actually is really great. Because again, you're contrasting, right? That nuts and the chocolate together actually work really well. So by reading labels really helps. And even if you did a search in the LCBO search bar and said, hey, I want this, or just a keyword, it's actually going to not just bring up products that may have that in their name, but they may have other articles through the LCBO where they're talking about flavors and aromas that are coming out in different products. So you may end up stumbling upon an article featuring a style of product that you're not familiar with. I'll give an example of a Vin Santo del Chianti. So Vin Santo is a sweeter dessert wine from Italy. And again, it's got a lot of cherry flavor in it. So that would be another one that's really good with dark chocolate. So just kind of by doing some research on it, you can kind of play around. And if you're a chocolate lover, it doesn't hurt to have a few of these on hand. Always kind of remember, the higher the alcohol content, the longer you can keep it. And then the last one, of course, is white chocolate, which is technically is not chocolate at all, right? It's basically cocoa, it's solids and sugar, kind of holding it together. So white chocolate, because again, it's much sweeter and creamier, even more so than that milk chocolate. You can kind of still play around with something light and fruity. Again, Pinot Noir would be good. You could do probably even a Beaujolais, because Beaujolais, again, doesn't have a lot of tannins in it because it's very young and fruity. That would do really well with it. This is where we're going to get into sweeter bubbles. One of our favorites that we always surprise people here with at the bar, especially if it's a anniversary or birthday or something, is a Brachetto from Italy, or a Lambrusco from Italy. Both of them will do really well with something with white chocolate or any of that sweeter style of chocolate. They both are kind of just a sweet sparkling wine from Italy. And people don't always realize how many of this style of wines that Italians produce. And most LCBOs carry one, if not both of them. They're very great value for money. It's surprising how many people who say they never like anything sweet just will guzzle those bottles when they find them. So that's a great alternative. So when you do get to socialize again, go to someone's house and bring that as a surprise thing, because nobody would expect that you'd be bringing a sweet red sparkling wine to pair with it. Am I interrupting, Alex?
Nope. Do you want to tell them what the second prize is, and I'll start?
Yes, I can do that. Absolutely. Second one, of course, is another little wine and chocolate pack, and this one is pairing with Lindor's Dulce de Leche. And Alex is going to pull up the next game thing.
Raciones.
Okay, so raciones, if you're not familiar with it here at the bar, racion just means portions. It is our term that we like to use here instead of entrees. So it's basically just a full portion per person. So these are a list of just a handful of the ones that have been on our menu for 2020. So again, take your pick of what you think the best selling item was for 2020. It could be our escargot bourguignon, which I just made some today for our Valentine's Day menu, bacon apple flatbread, or hoisin duck flatbread, tarte flambée, which is another style of flatbread from France, ropa vieja, which was our beef tacos from Cuba and South America, moule frit, which is mussels, panko shrimp with romesco sauce, and the steakhouse fries. I miss those steakhouse fries.
Yeah.
Those are a meal for two. So put your answer in the comments.
Some are still coming in, so I'm just leaving it for a minute here.
Yep.
Like 7 or 8 of them in.
I have to get one of those. I think I have it. I don't know if I can do it in my subscription. I have this subscription that I do for like background and songs and stuff. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to get the Jeopardy theme, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about wine and chocolate. Now I want to talk about, what if you don't have room for dessert and you still want something sweet? There are dessert wines options, or there's things out there that would be a good option to have something sweet at the end of a meal that doesn't necessarily require you to have a fork or a spoon, and just comes in a glass. So I already talked to you about port, which is a great alternative. So a lot of fortified wines are great for after dinner. The only one I would not have after dinner necessarily would be a white port. It's got a lot less sugar in it, and it's more of a aperitif style sipper. You can make cocktails out of it, whatever, but a red port or tawny port is really great for after dinner. And then I would, especially if you just want to, like here, when we give the bills, We have this little box of chocolate and things that we give out with the check at the each end of each one. So if you didn't have a dessert option, but you still had something in your glass, you can always take a little chocolate to go with it. But the tawny ports are really good. Again, mentioned sherry's. Sherry is a nice idea to sort of finish a dinner. There are some sparkling wines I already talked about, the red ones from Italy. Lambrusco and Brichetto are two of our favorites here. But there's a lot of other sparkling wines that are sweeter that would also be a good option. So I'm thinking about like sweeter rosés, and Moscato d'Asti would be actually a really nice one to finish as well. Or there's nothing wrong with finishing with a cocktail that's got a bit of a sweeter note to it. There's nothing wrong with that as well. I always think bubbles work at any time during the day or the evening. Bubbles can cleanse your palate because it's not a huge pour. It's not something that that you have to slug through if you're full after a big meal. And we do also offer our sparkling wines, the ones that are available by the glass. You can get them in a half glass, so only a couple ounces. So you don't have to force yourself to drink a whole glass. But it's not hard to drink a whole glass. You can do it. You can do it. Anything else for dessert wines that you can think of that I missed? Talked about sweet sparklings with red, fortifieds, ice wine. Oh my God, can't believe we forgot ice wine. So yes, ice wines. Surprisingly, we don't sell a ton of them here. We've always talked about that. I do think I'm going to, Alex and I talked about it. We haven't kind of launched it yet, but I think I'd like to do just for a feature for the first month or two before the snow goes away. I think I'd like to do an ice wine martini as an option for a feature cocktail. So even if you don't see it and you come into the bar in the next month or so, just ask us for one. So depending on what ice wines we have, we'll just have different garnishes available. So if it's a red ice wine that we happen to have available, maybe I'll do something with raspberry or something in it. If it is a Vidal or something like that, right? So depending on what kind of fruit garnish and stuff we'll put in it. So depending on what the base of the ice wine is. But essentially ice wine martini is really easy. It's half and half. So it is not for the faint of heart. Please do not have 4 of these in one sitting. But they are very good, especially if you like ice wine. So I always recommend that. And we are just finishing up ice wine season. The harvest was in February anyways. So you figure you're kind of supporting local by buying ice wine. And then if you want to try something even more luxurious, just because you have to spend a little bit more money for it, would be something like a Sauterne from the Bordeaux region in France. So Sauterne is made, instead of letting the grapes freeze to pick them, they actually let them sit until they just start to get a bit rotten. Sounds gross, but it's actually called noble rot. They do it on purpose. It's a special kind of bacteria that they allow to kind of grow on these grapes. And then it just basically helps to shrivel them a little bit, change the chemical composition of them, and then they press them into grapes. I don't have a bottle kicking around handy that I can show you, but they're usually in half-size bottles. They're not cheap. Some of the bigger name ones go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is crazy. We do have a few here, different ones. So maybe I'd like to put one as a option that if somebody wanted to buy a glass, like to try it. I think we have it available by the glass, don't we?
I think we had it priced out by the glass originally. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sauterne is one of my favorites. Every time I go to a big Bordeaux tasting, when they were back in the days when they used to do the big conventions and the Bordeaux, the Union de Grand Cru would come through and do a big thing. You can usually find me at the end of the show hanging out with the Sauterne people, mostly because some of the ones that are available that I'm there to taste are not ones that we can always either get here in Ontario, or if we do, it's in limited quantity, and I barely ever get a chance to get it in Sudbury. So I kind of just try to hang around there, and it's like it's honey. It's just like drinking a very luxurious like honey. It's just anyways, it's just the texture of it and the flavor of it, and it's got a long finish and it's lingering and it's just beautiful. So if you like ice wines, try a Sauterne. If you can find them, sometimes they'll have them at the vintages section in those little locked cabinets that you have to ask about. But just ask your vintages rep from wherever you're calling in from, and they'll be able to steer you towards a Sauterne for something different. Because it's just that it's still going to be sweet like an ice wine, but the flavor is a little bit more complex than an ice wine. Okay, number 3, Alex.
Yes, third prize.
Third prize. We're not going chocolate this one, so this one's going to be candy, and these are actually vegan candies. Again, don't have my glasses, but I believe it is from the West Coast. So it's Canadian made. Oh, it's actually made in Montreal. So these are little bonbons, but they're call them vegan bites, but they're little candies. So for those who have that sweet tooth, the little fruit candies. So that is in the third bag.
Okay.
And what category are we doing now?
Dessert.
Speaking of desserts.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So take a look at the list that Alex just posted up there. So these are just a handful of the desserts that we did for throughout the year, 2020. The tarte tatin, we did rosé poached pears, the chocolate olive oil and sea salt toast, profiteroles, passion fruit panna cotta. I forgot about that panna cotta. That was good. Pumpkin mousse, boozy berry trifle, and corn pudding. Corn pudding was early in the year last year.
Yes.
That was another one. That's a Dominican.
Those are based on sales, like the top ones.
Yeah. So these are corn pudding's recipe from the Dominican Republic. It's really good. It's kind of like this creamy pudding and surprising with corn in it. Anyway, it's really good.
Yeah.
So put your answer in the comments, and first one gets it. All right. So now I wanted to talk about YouTube. So because we've been doing all these little videos and we're getting a little bit better at it, Alex is getting it down, and he's not so camera shy anymore like he was at the beginning. I want to be able to have more video coming here from the bar. So whether it's a quick little intro from one of the classes, or there's a really good teaching moment or something from one of the classes, or talks a little bit about the country and a wine that it's something you may not know, or maybe it is something that's happening in the kitchen because I'm doing a feature menu and I have this little trick on, what I do in the kitchen for this one particular recipe that might be different than what you're used to, or something like that. So I want to do little videos. I like to be able to do, so you can do wine tips and we can do behind the scenes stuff. And I don't necessarily want to do full cooking instruction, only because just the layout of this kitchen, I might go and tape some occasionally, maybe one of our rental suites when it's available. And it's just because our stoves, of course, face the wall, and where I would put the camera would be just a little awkward. But if I can figure out how to do it, I'll do it for you. But yeah, just to go and show you some of the basics, and I don't want to do techniques. That's not the whole idea of it, but maybe there's some really easy recipes and things that we do here, or that are from a particular country that I think you can kind of apply to your everyday cooking at home. There's Denise. Dong ding. She's connecting to audio. She's not covered in chocolate. Yeah, you're connected. You're just muted, Denise. Yeah, get off mute. There she is.
Hey.
Hey. You don't need a mask to talk to. Are you tired, my friend?
I am. I was here to, is there other people listening or just us?
Oh yeah. No, we're on Facebook. Wave to everybody.
That's a good thing. I almost let it go.
Oh yeah, you was like, you were gonna have a me and you chat.
Yeah.
I know that's after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've literally just stopped since 7 o'clock.
Wow. I know. You are a trooper. People don't realize how many hours that you put into making all the stuff there. Like, it's just crazy, eh?
Yes. Especially for holidays.
Yes.
I don't have the strawberries to show you.
That's okay. So that's fine. I'm sure people know what chocolate covered strawberries, because she's been a busy beaver, and I was so busy today in the kitchen, I didn't have a chance to get over there to grab them. But the next game, the prize that we're going to do is going to be your chocolate covered strawberries with the appropriate wine pairing for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So what I was thinking is, just so that if you don't mind, since if you have a few minutes, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, Valentine's Day weekend, if you can give some tips to people on what to look for when they're shopping for good chocolate. Like, what does it mean when you say there's good chocolate versus like yucky chocolate?
Well, the first ingredient shouldn't be sugar.
Okay. So what should be the first ingredient on it then?
cocoa mass. You know, it needs to have the chocolate liqueur in it, cocoa butter,
Cocoa butter.
and you know, if it doesn't snap, it's not good chocolate.
Okay, so you mean like if you had a bar of it and if it bent as opposed to just like crack open like snap, then it
Yeah,
wouldn't be a good chocolate, right?
right.
Okay, so
And- and
what if somebody's not buying it that way and they're picking up like a box of assorted chocolates? Like, is it again just looking at the ingredients that would be the best way to do it?
yeah, yeah. Like personally, um, we don't use any additives or preservatives in our chocolate. So it's you're getting the pure chocolate with the best fillings that, you know, I can provide, with a lot of nice liqueurs and some without. Now, when I say that if it doesn't snap, like if you're eating something like a caramel,
Mhm.
like if it's a piece of caramel dipped in chocolate, it's not going to really snap because of the what you're dipping it in.
Yeah.
Um, other items like novelty items, stuff dipped in chocolate, you're not going to get that. But when you have like a real good piece of chocolate or a truffle, it should snap when you bite it, or a chocolate bar should snap when you have it just at room temperature.
Oh, even at room temperature, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So room temperature is not 25 degrees, people. And everyone's got with the weather outside, they got it cranked right now. So room temperature would probably be closer to 20 degrees Celsius, 21 and a half maybe. But yeah, other than that, you're going to start having chocolate fingers.
Like I don't know Celsius very well, Stephanie. You know,
No,
I'm a Fahrenheit girl.
you're a Southern girl.
But my shop stays 69 degrees year round. So if chocolate gets too hot, it'll fall out of temper.
Yeah.
If it gets too cold, it'll fall out of temper. And doesn't mean that it will change the taste of it, but it'll get what they call bloom on it, and it makes it just, it doesn't have a nice appearance.
Yeah.
It'll take on that gray, and it's what it does is the cocoa butter just separates from the chocolate mass and comes to the surface, and it doesn't, like, it'll still taste good. Like I have people ask all the time, you know, can I put it in the freezer? Well, you really shouldn't, because if you're happy, it's happy, and you shouldn't be keeping chocolate long enough to put it in the freezer.
Should be eating it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're buying high-end chocolate, that that's produced in shops like mine. I'm not talking about Godiva and Lindt and all of that stuff. It's good chocolate, but it's also made to be on a shelf. And so you want to eat it. You don't want it to sit around and get stale and
Gray.
you know,
And
all that
gray.
good.
Gray.
And gray.
Yeah. So before we let you go back to your work stuff, what are you making for Valentine's Day this year? What are your big sellers right now? Besides strawberries, obviously.
Well, I don't have anymore, but we did these things called smash hearts, and it's a heart shell that's like hollow, and then on the inside I put truffles inside of it, and just some little doodads, and you take a hammer and you break it open. It's kind of fun. I posted a video on our Facebook and Instagram page if anybody wants to check it out. I, like I said, I'm sold out of them, but those have been a big seller. Still, the hot chocolate bombs have been a big seller, and the strawberries, of course,
Are you
are.
finding that's the new trend right now? Sorry, Alex, I didn't realize the like everything like stuffed with something else, right? He's talking about the hot chocolate bombs, and now it's like the hearts that break open. Is there always need to be this like surprise component in it now? Do you think that's what people are asking for?
That's what's trending, and so I'm doing gender reveals. Who knew?
No. Nothing explodes
So
or anything, does it?
I haven't done anything that explodes, but I've hidden house keys, car keys,
Really?
In a box of chocolates, in a chocolate. I had a lady.
Wedding proposals?
I've had a ring, yes.
Yeah.
I think 2 years ago I had a ring, and it needed insurance to be in here.
Okay. Yeah. So they almost had to wrap the ring in something else and then put chocolate over it. Like I'd be panicked. Like I'm not putting this in a chocolate, right?
No, the ring, I embedded it into a chocolate. Just the band.
Yeah.
Kind of set down in it, and and it had like a piece of foil.
Okay.
Aluminum foil.
Yeah. So that's how Denise says foil, people. I have been teasing her about this for a year. I know it's so cute when her draw comes out, y'all. But so she's talking about her foil that goes over top of it.
Yeah, so I just wrapped a little piece of foil around the base of the ring, and just took a like a dab of chocolate and kind of stuck it down
just to cover the top.
Yeah, it was like a little shooter cup.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And like I put ganache inside of it, and then before it solidified the top, I put it down in there. It was really cute. And so I've hidden some other stuff that we won't discuss.
That's for the X-rated show another time.
Yeah, people, I have everything, all molds. So don't ever be scared to call and ask me for.
She does the creative stuff. So anyways,
nether regions.
Oh my God. Okay. So that's a great Valentine's Day segue. So what I was thinking is, that's a cool idea about proposal and stuff, because we're a big date night spot. So I'll have to keep that in mind, that if anybody wants to do proposals or surprise somebody with a birthday thing or whatever, they can get in touch with you, and then they can have it. I can have it brought here, and that can be part of their dinner, like for out, right? So that's a cool idea. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, and like I had a guy give his girlfriend a key to his house to ask her to move in. So that was pretty.
That's step one, right?
Yeah. That was an oddity, but yeah, the most expensive was the ring, and then I did a Mustang, one of the Roche Mustangs, the top of the line racing Mustangs. And this was a woman bought it for her husband.
Wow.
So it goes both ways.
I guess so. Alex, so did you say you were going to say something or ask a question earlier? I thought I interrupted you by mistake. No. Alex is not a chocolate eater.
Nope.
I know he's not.
Where's he? He's at home.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he was here earlier today helping me in the kitchen, and I sent him home. So now he can drink in peace while I'm finishing stuff up. Well, anyways, I appreciate you joining us and sharing your knowledge and your expertise with all of our chocolate lovers that are here. And then I will, when I post the video to the blog, I'll put a link to your website so that people can look how to reach you directly in case they want to bury something in chocolate for their next little surprise. I'm gonna, and I will when I come get those strawberries tomorrow for the winner for the next prize, I will ask you then about the story about what else was buried in the chocolates, because now you got me curious.
Am I red? I feel like I'm turning red.
That is awesome.
All right.
Okay. Thanks so much.
All right, guys.
Enjoy the rest of the night. Okay.
Y'all too. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was funny. Okay, Alex, we're gonna do our next game. Okay, she just kills me. I can talk to her for hours. Just that drawl comes out, especially when she's tired. She's fun.
I want to show the next prize, but the next one's gonna be for best promo dish.
Okay, yeah. So we'll say the strawberries for the last one. So this is the one nobody won for the last happy hour. So this is the Outdoor Edge knife set. So these are for getting ready for girl time, which is coming soon. Oh, the little card's coming with it. So all of the knives, and there's a little built-in sharpener thing at the end. And then I have 2 instant read digital thermometers, so 2-pack, so that you don't have to cross-contaminate, because that's bad. But this way, if anyone who still hasn't bought anything for Valentine's Day, for somebody who's a griller or outdoor cook, this would be a great choice. Hopefully you get this prize. And yes, I think in the next couple of days, especially because we have the strawberries and stuff, Alex, we should make arrangements between you and I if we can try to drop them off. If there's winners in the Sudbury area. If you're not in the Sudbury area, I'll have to figure out how to ship something to you, which is not a big deal. But I'll figure it out. Anyways, okay, so next one. Ta-da!
So best promo dish. So we had different promo menus throughout the year, special menus. So these are dishes that were either features or on special menus. And these are the best sellers from that. So which one was the best seller?
Which was the best seller?
Yes.
So lobster mac and cheese, which I think is coming. Is that on our New Year's Eve menu? I think the lobster mac and cheese is coming back, eh? I guess I'm making that next weekend. The brie bowl. So that's the one that the sourdough loaf that I actually put the brie inside it. Hawaiian poke bowl, the pork trio, oysters with caviar, tater tot nachos, or the Cubano sandwich. Oh, I love Cubano sandwiches. I miss those. Do, 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 do. That was good. Okay, that gives you enough time. You should have it by now.
Yeah.
All right. What else are we going to talk about next? Oh, yes, hours of operation. So with the new COVID rules, if you haven't been paying attention to the news, Sudbury, the greater city of Greater Sudbury is going into orange restriction level starting on Tuesday the 16th. Orange doesn't necessarily mean some of the same things before. So if you are not in the restaurant industry and you're not sure what to expect when you decide you want to start going out to dine again, I'm going to give you a lowdown. So for those of you who maybe had gone out prior to the lockdown, you will notice that our staff were wearing eye protection, and most of the restaurants were all starting to implement the same thing. So now it is, regardless of what color level that we are on, green and up for the foreseeable future until they figure out that everyone's vaccinated and we're safe to get off this little roller coaster we're on. We will all, any servers coming within 2 meters of your table will need to have eye protection on top of the mask. So that's either going to be those goggles that go on the side and across, or it'll be a face shield on top. We have both here available for the staff. And then even for my reading glasses, I have these like side shields that kind of go on the sides of them. So you have to have eye protection as well. Maximum per table is 4. So unfortunately, for all you girls who wanted to go out with the 10 of your friends, not yet. You will have to divide up into 4s. So we will have like a table of 4 at the front, table of 4 at the back. We can probably get 4 against one of these tables. The other one is too tight, so we'll probably keep it as a 2-top. But that just sort of narrows things down that we can't, even if we put in a, we do have these PVC dividers that we can put up, but if I put it, like, I think at the front would be the only place, Alex. I think I can put a 4 and a 4.
Yeah, and you could do a 4 and a 2 in the back corner, but
Yeah.
you can't. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do 2.
Yeah, you could do a 4 and a 4, but then you'd have to have a PVC thing in the middle between the 2, and then that 4 would be right at the door. Even though we have that big heavy curtain there, you'd still be at the door. So anyways, 4 is the maximum per seating, regardless of where you're going in the city of Greater Sudbury. For orange level. And I don't think there's anything else. Oh, contact information. So as opposed to the green or yellow stage where you're only asking for the for one contact name and phone number for everyone at that table, for orange and higher, meaning orange, red, or more, we now have to have contact information for every single person sitting at that table. So we meaning either myself or Alex or whoever's going to be working the floor that night will be asking you, and we have to keep track of it here. Because at any time, if public health needs that information, that's what they come and ask us for. So that if there was any kind of outbreak or somebody did get sick or one of our clients did and they said they happened to come here, we can actually give them a list of everybody who was actually here in the restaurant at the same time. That's the whole idea of it, is to protect everybody who comes into these spaces. So besides that, yes, I do still have the air purifier, which is my little workhorse. My nose feels a little stuffed today, and that's just because I feel like my allergy is just not catching up with me. But it does 900 square feet, so it's a big enough unit that it's actually doing this entire space. And I just changed the filter probably about 2-3 weeks ago, so now we're going to be good for another at least 3-4 months anyways. But at least that's going to help kind of keep the air fresh until we get to that time when we can open the windows. And speaking of open windows, hopefully they're going to be in by March, I would guess. But we have new, almost like patio doors, like sliding windows coming in the spring, as soon as my installer can get them in and then get them installed. So they're going to open on the inside going out, so that if you were sitting outside, you can still hear the music on the inside for ambiance. If you want to get the fresh air, you can have it open, but you can sit where the door is closed against the wall, so you have a bit of a protection against any kind of wind or breeze, but you can still feel like you're outside. So we want to have, so that's going to coming in, I think he said early to mid-March, I believe. So anyways, the spring. And then I'm also still looking around for another contractor. I think I found one to put in our awnings, and they're going to be they're 16 feet wide and they're 10 feet deep. So they're going to take up the whole sidewalk, 16 feet on each side of the building, on both sides of the seating outside. So, and they are wine color. They're our color, of course. So we'll have the big awnings there. So weather's not going to be the big of issue. We don't have to worry about the umbrellas blowing down the street like last year, which will be great. So between the awnings and then the windows open on this side or whatever, I think it'll be more like the outside in, inside out. That's kind of, so those who are still too nervous to come inside, you can still sit outside as soon as we are able to do so. So then the only other thing is the hours of operation. Last call, anywhere in an orange restricted zone, it is 9 p.m. is last call. No alcohol is to be served, pulled off the table, basically shutting down by 10. So we were originally talking about, okay, maybe we'll try to do to 11 on Fridays and Saturdays, but we can't now. So we're going to be, we'll probably still go until 9 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll extend that, of course, till 10 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays, kind of like what we did before. However, we're just looking for input from you who comes to the bar. Are you okay still opening at 5, or would you like to see us open at 4? I know the Alibi Room tried at 4 o'clock for a little while, and I think until people start getting into this after work thing, I didn't want to go and say, yes, we're going to open at 4, and then no one comes, and because people tell me they don't want to come at 4 o'clock and they'd only have to work till 4:30. So if you would like to see 4 or 5 o'clock as our opening time, let us know. The only thing to worry about is classes. Classes for the next month or two are going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're going to start at 6 o'clock now as opposed to 7. So now from 6 to like 7:30ish. So now you can stick around for drink after, have dessert after, if you still have food, if you're still hungry after the food I feed you, by all means. But we arranged it that way so you can kind of make a full evening out of it. And just as before, if there's extra tables that are available aside from those who signed up for the class, yes, you can have regular dining off of our menu at that time. So that's what's going on with those. Last price, Alex? We're getting close. It's what, 10 to 6?
Yeah, last one.
Okay, so last one of the chocolate covered strawberries that Denise made by hand, toiled over the stove for with her extra good dark chocolate that she uses with no preservatives. And I know she was racing around looking for strawberries even yesterday. So that, and I do have a proper pairing to go with it. Do not want to give it away. But that's going to be care of Huckleberries. Huckleberries and us for our final prize. And what's the category, Alex?
It is cocktails. So
cocktails.
Yes. So our best-selling cocktails. These are our top sellers. Which one is the top seller?
Well, I demoed the French 75 at was it the last happy hour we did cocktails? Yeah. French 75. There's also the Saint Germain cocktail, sangria, Bellinis, Toro Bravo margarita. Shout out to Giselle if she's watching. Aperol spritz. Those were all of our top selling cocktails, but which one was number 1 for 2020? It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have to do like little awards. Or have to get, so if anyone makes statue or little statuettes out there, you can make us a little. I think it'd be kind of fun to have like actual awards, and we'll wear gowns, and we'll actually do like a full. No, Alex is not really exciting about that. We got him to wear a bow tie, a full tux. No, I think it'd be fun. No. Okay, do you think that's enough time?
Yeah, I took it out already. Yeah, I got plenty of answers. So
you got some answers? Okay, so I'm going to go back and start from the top, and I'm going to give you the answers for all of them. Some of them might surprise you, actually. We were kind of reviewing this today when he was here. Okay, so first category, tapas. Again, the top ones were Parmesan truffle fries, bacon wrapped dates.
Well, 1 second. I'm just going to do this, actually.
Oh, okay. As opposed to me reading off my paper?
Well, just so people can see, if you don't want to read it all again every time.
Your Parmesan?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so the Parmesan truffle fries, bacon wrapped dates, pan con ajo et tomate, chorizo and red wine, churrasnos, croquetas de jamon, fromage fort, and cod fritters with aioli. And the top selling tapa for 2020 was pan con ajo et tomate. Surprisingly, everyone, I know all of my truffle fry fans out there probably thought it was the truffle fries, but the pan con ajo is a big seller throughout 2020. We even took it off the menu and we ended up bringing it back. And I think partly it was because some people thought it was bruschetta, and other people, and it's vegan. It's one of our only vegan options that we always had available at any time. So it was a big seller in 2020. So yes, it'll come back. It is not, oh, it is on the menu when we open next week. Okay, rations. The entries were escargot bourguignon, bacon apple flatbread, hoisin duck flatbread, tarte flambée, ropa vieja, mole frit, panko shrimp with romesco, and steakhouse fries. And the ration, biggest seller for 2020 was escargot bourguignon. Didn't see that one coming either, did you? But yeah, so I mean, I knew people liked escargot in Sudbury, but man, you guys loved escargot. I moved them into the tapas. I moved them to rations, like larger portions. Anyways, yeah, we're escargot lovers, which is good. Good thing I found more snails. Okay, desserts. Our top sellers all around, tarte tatin, rosé poached pears, chocolate olive oil and sea salt toast, profiteroles, passion fruit panna cotta, pumpkin mousse, boozy berry trifle, and corn pudding. And if you didn't get this one, if you did not get this one, you are not a Wander Food and Wine fan, because everybody knows the damn chocolate toast. So I have to say the little funny story. So I was just in a workshop with the Tayo. So there was like a tourism conference that I was in, 2-day thing last week. And a friend of mine here that works for the city, I don't know if she will be seeing this eventually, but anyways, so she the very first question opening was, if I was going to Sudbury, because the host was from Toronto, what is one dish or food thing that I need to try when I'm in Sudbury? And thankfully, somebody's got on their chat thing and they said, you need to go to Wander Food and Wine and have the damn good toast. So of course, after everybody started laughing, they had to ask me and get me to unmute to say, okay, could please tell us about this damn good toast. So I explained about the chocolate toast. And I found out afterwards, so somebody else sent me a message telling me that I should call it sexy toast because of the Spanish olive oil. And then I found out, she texted me after the conference because she seriously thought it was called damn good toast. So we're actually going to create a new hashtag called damn good toast. I think that's amazing. We may even, Alex thought, he rolled his eyes when I told him I want to change it right on the board. So where it says chocolate, olive oil, and sea salt toast, I actually want it to put like damn good toast. And it'll be a conversation starter for all the new people coming in. Like, what is this damn good toast? I think that's funny. Anyways, I just had to tell you that funny story. So our toast was famous. Even the staff from the Tayo down in Toronto now have a photo of our damn good toast. Okay, best promo dish. So these are all the special menu features we had throughout the year and what was the best selling thing. So lobster mac and cheese, the brie bowl, Hawaiian poke bowl, pork trio, oysters and caviar, tater tot nachos, and Cubano sandwich. And the winner is oysters and caviar. We got some luxury eaters in our house. If I was going to be guessing this, I probably would have thrown it to lobster mac and cheese because we did blow through a lot of that. But I did not realize until Alex double checked the stats that, yeah, we sold more oysters.
Yep.
And we didn't have a lot of oysters. But yeah, when we have them, we sell through a lot of them.
Yep.
Reminds me, Alex, don't forget, we need to double check our oysters for next weekend.
Yes.
Okay. We're doing some business while we're talking to you. Okay. And the final one, cocktails. So our top selling cocktail for 2020, French 75, Saint Germain cocktail, Sangria, Bellini, Toro Bravo, Margarita, Aperol Spritz. And the winner was my favorite and yours, the Sangria. Viva la Sangria. Sangria, of course, is coming back again, but it will be back in the spring. Yes, we will be using the consummate peach wine for our white sangria. And again, we're going to use the Toro Bravo red. I think that was the best wine choice for our red sangria. I still have some fruit base and mix in my freezer, kind of boozy, ready to go. But yeah, we're going to be, as soon as that you think it's suitable in time to start putting ice in cocktails and sitting on a patio, our sangria will come back. We'll do those. Someone's trying to talk, was asking me about doing a rosé one. And I don't know if we do 3. I mean, when we brought out the white sangria, we sold like, it was crazy. Like the first week or so, everybody was ordering white sangria. So I don't know how a rosé one would go. If you would like to see us introduce a rosé sangria, let us know in the comments. I'm open to it. I'm just going to try thinking about what fruits and stuff that I would want in it to make it worthwhile or to make it different than that white one, because the white sangria has got a lot of, all right, stone fruits in it. It is a little on the sweeter side. But I don't know.
I will note that the Toro Bravo Margarita, Giselle did create it. It was the 3rd best-selling cocktail that we had throughout the whole year, just to put in perspective.
Yes, well, we are bringing back the cocktail contest. And if I know Giselle, she has been, during this entire lockdown, has been experimenting at home, as well as all of her cousins and her sisters and her other anyway, she's got a very big family who are all big supporters, and we love them all here at Wonder Food and Wine. But yes, they're all probably going to be getting their cocktail game started. So we always have the cocktail recipe contest, and that takes place, I believe, August 1st long weekend, Alex, I think. It's on our event calendar on the website, to be sure. I actually, hopefully I put it in there. So the cocktail contest, so I'll give you guys like a month notice. Don't worry about it. So when it's going to be, and then all you have to do is submit to us what the recipe is. It needs to have wine in it. You don't have to specify a particular brand, but I need to know there's wine in it. So the best all-around cocktail recipe is the one that we're going to feature for the entire month of August. The winner gets to have 1 free cocktail every visit of their winning cocktail for the entire month of August. So yeah, we went through a lot of those. The margarita was actually really, really good, which was a lot of fun, because I'm trying to figure out, that was probably the only way I was going to get a margarita being served in this bar, just because of my must-have wine rule, right? But that Toro Bravo white blend, the Verdejo Sauvignon Blanc blend, is the wine that I actually featured in the Spanish class the last 2 nights as well, because it's almost bitter, especially those who like those like things like really tart lemon flavor. It's almost like the grapefruit skin, like it's anyways, it's really, really great wine for that. So obviously, like with lime flavors and stuff in it, it was just a natural match for a margarita. So good for Giselle to figure that one out. I don't think there was any other before we finish. Oh yeah, so for things like the event, I'm a little busy with the Valentine's Day menu, obviously, because we have pickup orders coming in tomorrow and Sunday. So hopefully by Monday, I'll have this video on our blog. I will also be sending out a newsletter, which will, again, confirm about all of the new COVID rules, when our opening date is. I think we're going to open Thursday. So I think we're aiming for Thursday open for regular dining, Thursday or Friday. Saturday is going to be our New Year's Eve / 1 year anniversary event that we have now postponed for since January, obviously, since New Year's Eve. So I'm still planning to pretend it's New Year's Eve, and hell with it. So we are still considered sold out. We may have a table that comes up, but we did have a waiting list. So if you didn't get tickets to join us for that night, yes, there'll be oysters. Yes, there'll be caviar. Yes, there'll be foie gras mousse and a whole lot of bubbles. Having a bit of a party that night. But there's 2 seatings. Tickets are sold out for both. But if you go to the website for the New Year's Eve event, first anniversary event, you can actually add yourself to the waiting list. And this way, if somebody can't make it now for next Saturday for whatever reason, and tickets start getting released, we will contact people in the order that they registered, whether they can join us or not. So that'll be next weekend. So that'll be fun. So you got to make sure that our staff's here next Saturday.
Yes.
Or else Norm's going to be serving and clearing again. Nobody wants Norm serving and clearing. Okay. Well, he doesn't want to be serving and clearing, but he will if he has to. So again, we'll go through all the comments and chats at the end of this, just to announce who the winners are of each of the prizes. Check your direct messages. I know that for the very first happy hour, I'm trying to remember her name, Julie. I don't know if Julie is going to be watching this or not, but I tried to reply to your comment because you had won. I sent you a direct message and your gift certificate is still waiting. So just have to call or email me or reply to my message and just to let me know how we can get it to you, or you can stop in and pick it up. So I'm still holding it for you. And then for the others, I'll make arrangements to get them their prizes. The priority is going to be the chocolate covered strawberries, obviously. So whoever won that one, and it's just because, again, it is fresh and perishable, and I want you to have it for Valentine's Day. So I will, between Alex and I, will make sure that everyone gets their stuff by the end of the weekend. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us and drinking with us again on a Friday. We are probably not going to do this very often unless we go into lockdown again. Fridays at 5 o'clock, we're anticipating we might be a little busy the next little while, but we may do little videos like in the afternoons or like on weekday or weekends when we're not open, or special occasions going forward. And again, any kind of videos we're doing will be on the new YouTube channel, so you can look for us there. They'll be also be on our blog page. If there's a video that we can upload the link there as well. And then if you forget to go and check either, if you signed up for a newsletter, you'll get reminders, all that stuff anyways. I think that's it. Good. Yeah. Alex needs to go to finish drinking his wine without me. I have so many great still shots from our videos of Alex finishing his wine.
I always leave a little bit so I have enough to.
Okay, so we're almost finished. You can't let down your guard. You have to be diligent, be properly masked, be aware of your social distancing. Only leave the house if you need to. And then when you do, going out to go and support local businesses, they're going to be so happy to see you, but just be cautious and careful. And again, patient while they transition back into their opening phases. But anyways, stay healthy. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and drink wine. Salud.